actual plate photography with the real actors was done in Atlanta on a stage there. So they built like a 200-foot long piece of highway with real cars, and that's where Tom Holland and Alfred Molina actually were physically there fighting each other. We did have to then fill in the entire environment around that because it's a very small set. And for the most part, Tom is in his Iron Spider suit, so he's all CG. Doc Ock has these big giant CG arms, and when they're fighting, he's CG. And if they're throwing around cars or doing anything crazy, sometimes the entire frame is CG. So what we had to do was start with a scan and a lot of photographic reference of that environment. And then from that, build like just a very accurate photoreal representation of about 3 square miles of New York. The way we did it was we started with reference photography. We lined up maybe 10 to 15 angles from different parts of the bridge, looking out in different directions. And then we started matching that with our CG environment. And just every day we would iterate 3, 4, 5 times and just try and get closer and closer and closer to the real thing. And I think at the end of the day, we had something like 500 unique assets, 70 cars. We had to build a traffic system to drive cars around in the background so that would, give life back there. We had a crowd system for character, the actual human beings walking around in the background. And then, at render time, when all of that's brought in, it's probably like 30 billion polygons or something are being rendered in any given shot. Alfred Molina, he's on basically this platform that they can float around to give him height and move him around like the legs are carrying him. That was a little more difficult in the sense that his feet are flat on there, his legs aren't really dangling, and his coat gets caught up on this rig quite a bit. So most of the time when you see Doc Ock from the neck, a full body frame of him or even mid body frame of him, he's usually all CG from the neck down. And sometimes even had to reproduce his hair and put digital hair on him just to get like the sense of motion that he's moving quickly forward or doing some kind of action that he wasn't really doing. So you get that wind blowing in his hair, you get the jacket moving properly, his legs dangling. And we always needed to keep realism and weight and speed and, action going with that character. So, we did try and ground that in a lot of Tom's performance or stunt performances when they're actually doing those things, and we enhance them, but the base is usually either match move or motion capture of a real actor.